Hey guys, welcome back for another mini message. We're starting today in Genesis chapter 20, and we're going to look at the first two verses here. And we're refocusing in on Abraham in this chapter. It says in verse 1, Abraham moved south to the Negev and lived for a while between Kadesh and Shur, and then he moved to Gerar. While living there as a foreigner, Abraham introduced his wife Sarah by saying, "She is my sister." So King Abimelech of Gerar sent for Sarah and had her brought to him in his palace. So the Negev is the southern part of Israel. It's down right where, say, Israel and Egypt border each other, right down there in that bottom part. And so Abraham from time to time would move north and south through the promised land and kind of stay in different places. This makes sense from the point of view of, he had herds and flocks, and he would move to different places where he could graze. And this oftentimes caused him to come in contact with new people and people that he had not, been around before. People that didn't know him. He was a very wealthy man with a large household, with servants and all those kind of things. So he would have been somebody that when he moved to the area would have attracted attention. And so he comes into this area down in southern Israel, and I think one of the reasons he moved was because right after the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, I really think you look at the section there at the end of chapter 19, he's pretty sad about it. He's broken up about it. He's kind of emotional about this. And I don't think he wanted to stay in that area. I think he was ready to move somewhere else where he'd kind of be away from that and not reminded of it. And so he moves down to this area and he does something. In verse 2, it says that Abraham introduced his wife Sarah by saying, "She is my sister." Okay, flashback here, right? You ever see the posts on social media, Flashback Friday, where they show like old pictures of themselves from the past or whatever? Well, this is a flashback. Sin is what's happening. This is exactly what he did when he went to Egypt early on in his time in the Promised Land. Commits the same sin. That's interesting. And I think the reason that Scripture shows us this is it shows us that even a man of the caliber of Abraham could find himself in sin and could find himself sinning over and over, even in the same ways. You see, we have sin patterns in our lives that we tend to follow. And unless we're very conscious of this, it's easy for us to fall into those patterns and commit that sin over and over. Even if sometimes long, extended periods of time happen in between those sins, we still have some of those proclivities towards certain things. And Abraham was susceptible to this. Here he is, even after all of this time and all of the things that's happened, he's still not trusting God with this. Not in this particular situation. He's scared, and instead of relying on his faith, he's letting his fear guide him. It didn't matter the growth, he was still susceptible. You and I are exactly the same in this. We are susceptible to sin, and when we think we've got it licked, when we've got it whipped, we've got it under control, that's when we really don't. And it doesn't matter how far down the road we may feel we've progressed. It takes one mistake, one time of letting down our guard and being comfortable and not guarding ourselves properly that we fall back into that sin. Guard your hearts, guard your minds. The Bible describes sin as like an animal that's crouching at our door, waiting to destroy us. And we have to keep our guards up. You have a great day. We'll see you again.